Hello everybody, this is Kyrix with another edition of This Week in Kyrix. Today is Wednesday, September 30th, 2015. Yeah, I was fighting like, okay, another edition of, no, that's not how I do this, Let's Play, no, this isn't the Let's Play. Yeah, I was just confused as to my wording, sorry about that. September's done. Well, September will be done in about 23 and a half hours, give or take. But September's done. And I'm not sorry to see it go. This was a really rough month for me. But I've got good news. Power bills paid. Still waiting on word about the water bill, but hey, we gotta start somewhere, and in this case, somewhere is the power bill. Ah. Oh my god, yesterday or the day before, whatever it was Monday. Yes, Monday sucked. Monday was... Alright, for starters, John had to get up at a certain time. Or so he thought. Turns out he did not have to be up at that time. But at the time, we thought he had to be up. And he's like, oh, can you do me a favor, Kyrix? Wake me up at this time. It's like 7 o'clock. I'm like, okay, sure, man. I'll wake you up at 7. I'd gotten up at 6 p.m. the previous day, so 7 wasn't a huge stretch for me. I've done worse. So I'm like, okay, I'll get you up at 7. I'll stay up late and get you up at 7, and I'll think, oh, well, I can go to sleep. However, at around 7:30, I would have to stay up at least that long because I would have to call 211 to see what the fuck was up with my power bill, why it hadn't been paid, because Thursday, they were supposed to have turned it off. But I called them and told them, look, I've got someone paying this. I've been approved. Paperwork's already filing. Please, please, please keep my lights on. I'm like, well, we can't guarantee anything, but I'll put a note here and we'll see what happens. And they put the note. And Thursday didn't get shut off and Friday didn't get shut off. And they had informed me that no shut-offs ever happen on the weekend, so I was clear. However, I did need to get something going because... quite frankly, Monday my lights were going to go away. So I called 211, and there was a line, of course. It's like, hey, if you want to save your place in line and have us call you back, press this button, and I pressed that button. Well, Mom was on the phone with Social Security because we were having difficulties, let's call them that, with her files. And she was on there for a while, and she got a hold of him, and I had to take over the call because I'm the only one who knows what was going on. Last time I put her on the phone, she was asking them for the assistance, thinking that's what she was supposed to do. No, I just needed her benefit statement. And last time I told the guy, hey, we need this benefit statement emailed to us. Like, oh, we can't email it. And I'm like, he's like, well, you know you can get it online. I'm like, she has an account for some reason. None of us made it for her. And we can't figure out how to get into it. He's like, oh, well, I can just erase the account and let you make a new one. I'm thinking, oh, that's cool. So I figured we'd get on that later that night. Turns out we did get on it later that night. And we're informed by the account that we can't make an account for this account. This account doesn't technically exist. And, of course, that sucks all of the dicks. Because all of the dicks. Oy, so yeah, naturally that didn't go as well as it could have. And by as well as it could have, I mean it went abysmally. So time was ticking and we couldn't get a hold of anyone. And since this happened Friday, and no one works at Social Security on Saturdays, we were kind of at a loss. A big loss. So we did the only thing we really fucking could do. We just waited and made a thing. And, I'm gonna need, come to think of it, not wool, I'm gonna need some sand. Actually, a specific block of sand you will do. You're perfect for my purposes. Anywho, they tell us, oh, we can't do shit, so... Anyway, she gets them on the phone, and I talk to this woman, and she's like, well, we can't, she's like, she kept telling me and getting real snotty about it, oh, you can just make a new account. I'm like, no, I can't. And she told me, just make a new account. And I got her on the phone. I'm like, yeah, it says we can't make an account with this card. Oh, well, it's messed up, etc. And then she happened to say the magic words of pick it up at the office. And I kept telling her to fax it to the office. Originally, I wanted her to fax it to, oh, what's the fucking word? To 211. But she's like, is my mother going to be there? I'm like, no. It's like, then we can't fax it. Which I understand why. It doesn't make it any less annoying, you know. I understand absolutely why they can't fax it. It's so that people can't just fucking identity theft her, but... yeah. You can also understand why this knowledge enraged me. Because it fucking did. But anyway, two more, I think. As long as I'm not directly in line, perfect. So, and then she finally tells me, well, you know, you don't need to fax it if you go to the office. And we live near the office. I'd forgotten how close to the office we lived, but we live right by a Social Security office. I mean, it was like a 5-minute car ride. So we get up there, and we take our number. Well, they take a number. I'm sitting there in the car trying to find out the fax number for 211 because my computer had crashed and I'd had it on a Word file and apparently never saved it. I just had it open. And that information was lost. That's what happens when you're a dumbass. Anyway, I basically sat on the phone for half an hour, waited in the car for another indeterminate amount of time. And shit had time to happen. So I basically got bored of sitting in the car waiting and went back inside, basically telling them, hold my place in line, call. Never got that call, by the way. But yeah, that was totally a thing that fucking happened. Let's get a good spot for this. This is a good location for it. Anyway, we get in there and then discover, oh, Mom doesn't have her anything, really. So that was a thing that happened and shouldn't have. And yes, I know this is only going to be minorly boxed in, but I'll deal with that when I deal with that. Can I survive this fall? Maybe. And if not, this is a nice flat zone. Here we go! Oh! Oh, so lucky. So yeah, so my aunt had to stay up there with her because we couldn't leave her alone. Come back to the house, get the ID and such, and get back up there. We're up there for like a while. Let's just say a while, because that's the only kind of time I can really say without driving myself batshit crazy. But yeah, we were up there a while, and we got the paperwork, and by then I was just in pure fuck it mode. I just had nothing left. Speaking of nothing left, I'm completely out of blue, aren't I? And no lapis to make more. Well, then this just sucks. Shit. Oh, nope, there's some blue. There's some blue. There's some goddamn blue. Blue, yeah. Anyway, so yeah. Got all the info together, and as luck would have it, I was able to find the cords for my printer, because I have one of those. And this printer doubles as a scanner, because yay me, really. And with the help of this printer and scanner and other things that are of that nature, I was able to make a thing. was able to get the paperwork we needed. So that's cool. Do I want this? No, I want this green. Yeah, I texted in, I emailed in the last the paperwork, and I know this is rambly and I'm barely coherent, but this is, quite frankly, a load off my mind. I'm still waiting to hear from 211, though technically, since it's in Mom's name, it'll be Mom who hears from them. We're still waiting. Whether or not she got the things we need. And if she did, yay. And if she didn't, not yay. I do not think there will be an issue with the leasing office. I don't think they're not going to take my rent. I'm going to do, and if that is the case, I'm going to do my best to basically talk to them and say, look, we've got things going on. Please give us a couple more days to get this sorted out. Social Security was a nightmare, etc. But for the moment, things are looking up. John, from what I understand, basically has a job guaranteed as soon as he gets a hold of the hiring manager. Because they told him, hey, you got this. He put the application in, etc. It's like $10 an hour, and if not, he's going to be up the frickin' McDonald's ass about hiring him because we need any income at this point. It would literally take just nothing at all to get us back on track. It's kind of shameful just how little it would take to make everything work again. It's really sad, you know? But I'm positive. I'm feeling positive, and if not, I've got a list of charities that will help with things like bill payments and whatnot. Hopefully it's like monthly small shit, you know? Because as nice as this one giant lump sum thing was, that's a one giant lump sum thing. I'd rather not get the bills high enough where we need that ever again. Nice to know it exists. Hope we never have to use it again. You know? I'm gonna be really sad if I don't have enough glass to get up there. Because that means I have to get down and get more. And if you don't know why that would make me sad, well, you lack imagination. Might be able to pull that off. Hopefully. Oh shit, I just realized I'm going to be even sadder because the only way to get back on here is to jump down onto it if I don't have it. And that's going to fucking hurt. But, yeah, I don't think that's going to be an issue with the leasing office. Heroclix. I had a Heroclix tournament. And I did reasonably well, considering my team had no range and everybody else did. There is a guy at our tournaments, and I do not understand for the life of me why this is, but as I described it to our judge as we were driving away, because he has his own car, the guy that I'm talking about, he doesn't ride with literally everyone else in the tournament. Every single time this guy opens his mouth, I just want to stab him in the throat, especially when he's talking directly to me. And I think it has to do with the fact that he is just... Well, for one thing, he complains about everything, but not in the way that most people do. It's literally... He complains whenever he loses on anything. And he also complains to an extent when he wins, because he didn't win as much as he wanted to. And when he does win a tournament, half the time, he just gives up the LE because, oh, I don't give a shit about this set. You know, he comes in... Whenever he wins, he just doesn't give a shit about the prizes. And I don't mean like, oh, I'm playing for fun. It's just, oh, these prizes are shitty. I don't want them. You know? And there's also the fact that from day one, literally, you may have noticed I have a loud speaking voice. And it's through no fault of my own. It's not something I've cultivated or anything, but I just talk loud. My normal volume is not exactly a comfortable level for most people. And sorry, shit happens. That's just the way it is. And without even knowing me, he's like mouthing off or whatever. He's like telling me shut up, quiet down, etc. And just something about how I'm wired is you have to, before you can start doing shit like that to people, you have to know them to a certain extent, you know? Like, one of my problems with one of our players that we had is the fact that he just took liberties which he had not earned yet. Like, he had shit talking that he hadn't played long enough to be able to ever possibly back up yet. And that kind of pissed me off to an infinite degree. Which is why I had as many problems with a particular guy as I did. And this guy did something similar, but again, it's like he doesn't know me, knows nothing about me. I mean, for all he knows, I'm the biggest player there. I'm not, but I'm pretty upper tier for us. And it's just, I guess it's a lack of respect thing. It's just, you don't know me and you're telling me to fucking shut up? You're new here. On your first day, you're telling me, one of the longest running players we have, to shut up or to quiet down, etc. No, you don't fucking do that. You know, you earn your place or learn your place. It's one of the two. And while he's good, it's usually I can feel happy when a person wins. We have a couple players, a father and son, though the son has since moved out of state, who basically had their own venue and used to come, as our term is, shark our venue, which is to say they'd come, run the tables, take our prizes, and leave. And you know what? They're cool people. I like them. You know, the father, the son, they're both awesome. And I don't mind when they come shark the venue, because fuck it, we do it to them too. You know, we go to their venue, because their players are not on our level. And I've described this before, that we are among the best players in the world in our venue. Any one of us can hold our own with some of the best. So, but anyway, I'm sitting here, and whenever he wins, he's just so bleh about it. And whenever he loses, he's even worse. That I just can't take any happiness in his victory. And I'm not normally a contrary person. I'm not normally an asshole. I'm not normally a person who does something to piss someone off. But today, for example, he's telling me, quiet down, quiet down. Meanwhile, Skinner's in front of me being just as loud, not a word to him. So I tell him, no, in fact, I'm going to keep going just because it makes you mad. Just because it frustrates you, I'm going to be louder. And no one else does that to me. And when I say does that to me, I don't mean, oh, no one else is so disrespectful. I mean, no, literally, no one else makes me act like that. And I don't know what it is about him that pisses me off as much as it does, but he fucking does. He enrages me just by speaking. Not even anything he says, it's just the fact that he draws breath and speaks infuriates me, and I don't know why. I'm not one of those people. I mean, despite what you may have think you saw in like my Let's Plays and stuff, I'm not an angry person. I'm not a violent person. I'm not even a mean person. I just hate this guy. And honestly, he's not a huge part of it, but he is absolutely part of the reason that I'm quitting Kyrix, because we're down to basically him, me, the judge, Skinner, and Anubis, and that's it. That's our whole venue. And quite frankly, before it was fine having him around. I didn't like it, but it was fine, because we had other people to balance his ass out, and now those people are gone. They're not here anymore. So there is no one to drown out this pessimistic son of a bitch. And he just has a way of sucking the fucking joy out of this game for me. And again, I don't know why. I really don't. Because we actually have had players that are just so down about every goddamn thing. And rather than be annoyed by it like I should, it's endearing when they do it. I'd explain it, but it defies explanation. It really kind of does. It's one of those senseless things that, by definition, makes no fucking sense. I wish it did. Totally doesn't. Let's take this up 64 just for the hell of it. So that's the thing. Now, I'm not quitting clicks because of this guy. You know, I'm not that fucking petty or that sad or whatever that I'm just, he plays, so I gotta quit. But let's just say, because of him, I'm not particularly sorry to go. If that makes any sense, and I know it fucking doesn't. But let's pretend for a moment that it does. I'm gonna do a 32. When I have 32 left, I'm gonna drop down and put some ladders. Whee! Crunch. Shit! Note to self, 32 is a death number. Now I gotta reorganize my fucking inventory. Great job, idiot. Oh, I did have an axe that I was using. Yay. But yeah, again, I don't know what the fuck it is about this guy that just pisses me off as much as it does, but it just does. And it makes no sense. None at all. No reason that this should be so. And yet it totally is so. And I honestly don't like that. I don't like that I can be that pissy about someone. And I tried to explain in the car. He's like, well, maybe it's good. Maybe you get to know him. I'm like, doesn't really change anything. He's like, well, no. If you get to know someone, like we had the friend that stole from us. I'm like, no. He's like, well, it's like how I am with him. You know, I know he's come from a broken home, etc. I'm like, that doesn't change the fact that he's a scumbag. Well, no, it totally. I'm like, no, it doesn't change the fact that he's a scumbag. Like I said. Basically, oh, he didn't have a father. Does that mean that if I know this, suddenly I'm going to have all my shit back? No, he still stole it from me. He's still a fucking scumbag. And see, the part is the judge, again, could not grasp the simple fact that I don't care about this guy's origin story, okay? It's not a comic book. I don't care about his fucking origin story. I don't care about his past. I just care about the fact that I don't fucking like him. That's literally as far as this goes. I don't like him, and I don't need to know more about him. You know, if I gave a shit, then that would be different. But I don't, because I don't like him. You know? It's not his past that pisses me off, it's his personality. Knowing why he has that personality doesn't change the fact that he has that personality that pisses me off and makes me want to hurt him. You know? And again, I don't necessarily like being violent-y or feeling violent-y, even though I jump to it really quick when you piss me off. You know? It's just... Again, he absorbs a lot of fun of this. Back when we had 8 people on a regular basis, he was one of many. I might run into him, probably wouldn't. We're down to 4 people. I'm almost guaranteed to play him in every tournament, and I am guaranteed to sit at the same fucking table as him every tournament, which means he's in my business and I'm over here in his, and it just... No, I'm sorry. We don't have enough players for me to put up with a shitty one. And I don't mean shitty as in a bad player, like, because he's skilled. He has skill. I will not deny that. I will give him that. Doesn't mean he's a good player. He's not someone... Let me put it this way. If I ran the venue, I wouldn't want him there. I wouldn't kick him out, but I definitely wouldn't want him there. I kind of hope... Because apparently the bookstore is being closed. Because some guy bought up the plaza and doubled the rent. And the owner of the bookstore can't afford that for obvious reasons. But, she's looking for a new venue, or a new location for her venue, rather. And I'm hoping she gets a nearby one, and I'm also hoping that this guy can't make it to that venue. Or that they just don't carry clicks so that he won't come, because he doesn't really seem interested in Star Trek, and I don't want him to be. Because I plan to run Star Trek at the venue, and I don't want him there. Because, again, he sucks the fun out of the game for me. And I know he just bitches, like, oh, you only won because you have the Borg. Or, oh, if I had spent all the money on all the Federation ships, I'd have had that card, and I don't want... just, oh, God. Just, no. Like, he basically rage quit the War of Light tournaments because he never pulled a chase. I want to point out that the War of Light tournaments, you're looking at a case per tournament. That's 20 boosters. Which is to say 10 players. One person's going to pull a chase out of that. I think it was either chase per case or chase per brick. So it was a chase per brick. So tops, you're going to see 2 chases. And they're not going to the same person. In all the tournaments I played, and I played far more than I should have, nobody ever got both chases. We've had times when they opened across from each other, like me and the judge opened chases from both bricks, you know, but so yeah, basically each time he goes to the tournament, he has a 1 in 10 chance of pulling the chase. And he hasn't. And he only went, like, to our tournaments. So that's a 6 in 60 chance that he's going to pull a chase. I pulled 2 chases. Out of roughly 18 tournaments, 18 to 20 tournaments, I pulled 2 chases. He went to 6 to 8 and didn't pull one, and he's bitching. And we're like, well, maybe if you went to more fucking tournaments, you'd have pulled some goddamn chases. You know? And he just gets pissy about that. And if he doesn't roll well, he gets pissy. You know, it just... Granted, we can all get mad if we don't roll well. But he doesn't even wait for it to become a trend. He doesn't even wait for the dice to be rolled. He's like, oh, I know I'm going to roll like shit against you. You know? And it's just... We had a guy like that. Not like that, but we had a guy who was just really pessimistic, but he wasn't bitchy about it. He was just kind of resigned, actually. Just kind of, well, that's how it is for me, you know? It's like how I describe the Chihuahuas. I talk about how I pick the Chihuahua up. Like, she has a scruff like a kitty cat, and I'm used to picking my cat up like that. But she also has loose skin on her butt, so I just kind of pick her up by both scruffs. And it doesn't hurt her. Before you scream animal abuse, she isn't hurt by this, because I have accidentally grabbed her like she was trying to run somewhere that she shouldn't, and I tried to grab her and caught, like, skin on her back that wasn't scruff, and she yiped. So if that hurt her, she would yipe, she would struggle, she would do something, but no, she just sits there with a look on her face that just says, well, I'm a Chihuahua, shit like this happens, you know? These are what happened to Chihuahuas kind of thing, you know? And that's how this guy was. He's like, well, it's me. This kind of stuff happens to me. You know, we have another guy who... I won't say he sucks at the game, because he doesn't. Again, he's up against some of the best. What I will say is his win-loss record is not inspiring. That being said, in No Man's Land, in the final tournament of No Man's Land, he made it to the finals against me, who won the tournament. He came in third, because one other person scored more points than he did, but if he'd have scored more points off me, he'd have gotten second. So he's not a bad player, he just has bad luck, and he's poor, or, okay, I won't say he's poor, but he can't afford Heroclix like the rest of us can, so his collection is lacking. And you need good figures, and you also need good rolls, and you need good strategy. He's got decent strategy, but it's the other two things that tend to fail him. His dive rolls are average at best, usually, and his collection is uninspiring. It's kind of like Anubis's collection, but Anubis borrows figures and this other guy doesn't. Nothing against him. There's nothing wrong with not borrowing figures and wanting to use your own shit. I mean, I'm like that. Granted, I have more shit to pull from, but still, that's how I am. I don't borrow. I mean, I do, but not often. It's just not how I work. You know, I have done it on occasion, but I generally don't. And honestly, if I'd known, I was brought into that particular tournament, the No Man's Land. It was at a venue that we used to go to. They don't carry clicks anymore. But the rule for that, we were playing for the Batcave, is you have to win a certain number of tournaments, etc. And I was told that I didn't need to. I was told this by my friends. And it turned out they told me wrong, so I show up there and I destroy everyone. There was never a question in any of my matches that I was going to win or not. You know, it was just pretty much taken for granted that I won those matches, because I just did that well against everyone. Only to find out that I don't get the fucking Batcave, I was livid. And if I had realized that sooner, I'd have let this other guy win, because he did qualify for the Batcave. Or rather, if he had won, he would have qualified for the Batcave. You know? Because it wasn't like most venues where you needed the points. It was literally you just had to have gone to one of his events, which I had not yet. And this other guy had gone to his event, so he could have left at the Batcave. And if I'd thought of that, I'd have spotted him that win. I'd have thrown that match. You know, or at least not played to my best, you know? So it wasn't obvious that I was throwing the match. And, completely forgot why I started on this train. Give me a second here. Oh yeah, but those two guys, again, they're endearing when they're like that, because they don't get pissy about it, and they don't... See, he's this... I once described him to our driver, and she agreed with me on this, because she doesn't like him either. Most of us hate this guy. The judge, oblivious as always, doesn't seem to mind him, but he doesn't fucking... Yeah, he's a very bad judge of character. Like, the guy who robbed me, it literally took... He was literally the last person to believe that he fucking stole from me. Not even that he was an asshole, but that he stole from me. He's like, so you really think he stole your shit? I'm like, yes. Oh, that's... By the way, let me put this into perspective. The guy had to leave for Vegas twice. Flee the state twice before it occurred to him that maybe I was right. Maybe he actually did take my shit and run with it. You know? But I described to the driver that this guy literally had every single bad trait that we all possessed, and none of our redeeming qualities. Like, he had my refusal to give up an argument. He had the judge's just sense of logic and taste for figures. He had the bitchiness of the guy who stole from me, and the smugness of the judge's friend who I always fought with. And pretty much any bad traits any of us had, he possessed. And there's just something about him that from day one, before he even opened his mouth, that just rubbed me the wrong way. You know, and I'm usually not like that. Plus, he's taken on another one of the judge's annoying traits where he's decided he's going to try and bust my ass about, like, oh, well, you were trying to get all this financial shit done, you should get a job. And quite frankly, we're not nearly close enough for him to be giving me any type of advice on my life, period. Job or otherwise. You know? I get pissed when the judge gets into my financial shit, and I like him. He pisses me off, but I get along with him. We're friends. I'm not, in any way, shape, or form, friends with this other guy. And the fact that he would insert himself in my business at all, again, that's something he has not earned the right to do. There are maybe 3 people that I will accept that kind of advice from. And I don't play cliques with them. You know? Anyway, I've been on a kick lately. I think I put up the video. No, I didn't even fucking put up the video. There's a video that will go up as soon as I remember that I didn't put it up yet. Basically saying that I'm taking my channel in some extra directions. Oh, don't worry. Nothing's changing. Nothing's going away. Things are just being added. In this particular case, I want to start reviewing Star Wars audiobooks. Just because. Just because it's a thing that catches my interest. I've been in such a Star Wars mood. I dug out my Saga books, and I've just been making characters left and right. I really want to run a Saga game locally. I'd rather run it online, but locally is going to have to do, because I don't have the materials to run it online, let's say. And I'm going to try and drag Skinner and Anubis into it. Skinner's shown some interest in it. But I want to pick a day, I want to get him over here, I want to play some fucking Sagas. Sagas, by the way, is the 4th edition-esque, basically 4th edition prototype of D&D for Star Wars, the Star Wars RPG. And it's a lot of fun. Originally, I hated it, and then I noticed, because one of the things that made me hate it was the original D20 system that Sagas replaced. In the Power of the Jedi sourcebook had the lightsaber forms as feats, you know, just different lightsaber forms, etc. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that aspect because I love everything with the Jedi. I love just the Jedi in general, lightsabers, lightsaber forms, etc. I'm just a real nerd for that shit. And one of my favorite things about playing the Jedi, the different forms of lightsaber combat, was gone in Sagas. Then there were no lightsaber feats anywhere, even in the books that should have had them, etc. And I just wasn't having that. So I'm like, nope, don't want to play Sagas. And I happened to, for whatever reason, I don't even fucking know why, but I happened to read the book closely. I'm like, oh, look, Jedi Knight, etc. I look at the talents and, what's this? Lightsaber combat? Lightsaber forms, rather? Yeah, turns out lightsaber forms exist. You just have to be level 7 to get them. You have to be a Jedi Knight. And you have to take that thing. But yes, the lightsaber forms are in there. And they're constantly active if you get them. You don't need a special book for them. They're in the core rules. And I'm like, oh, well, suddenly I like Sagas again. Oh, I remember what made me start it. In Star Wars D20, I wanted to run a heavy, micromanagey Clone Wars RPG. Which is to say, I wanted to give my players, who would be a Jedi Master and a Jedi Padawan, I wanted to give them a single vessel, like an acclimator. I was going to give them the Acclimator because, oh, that's a smaller Star Destroyer. Sure, that'll be less work. No. The smaller Star Destroyer is smaller because it is an assault vessel designed to land troops. Yeah, they basically had something like 2,000 or 20,000. A significant number of zeros of troops. Yeah. I kind of stepped in it there. But, and of course, I wanted to do all the vehicles, and D20 didn't have them, so I'm thinking, oh, I could kit bash them, and then I realized, oh, Sagas has a Clone Wars book that has all of these vehicles and then some. So I begrudgingly looked it up, and I'm like, oh, wait, I like Sagas, you know? But, yeah, I gave Sagas a chance. Turned out to be pretty fucking awesome. Especially if you're a nerd like me. And as it turns out, I am, in fact, a nerd like myself. Strangest thing, you know? Just that I happen to be a nerd exactly like how I am. Yeah, I know, it's stupid. But, that's the thing I've been doing. I'm also on a massive DBZ kick, and I blame my phone. Because my phone has a game that I need to go to the gaming store to update because my internet sucks here. Just in this area. And this game is called Dokkan Battle. It's a Dragonball Z game. It's not... As DBZ games go, it's not the most impressive thing in the world. I've played far better. I own far better. You know? But it is... engaging. Let's call it that. Let's be charitable. Let's call it engaging. Because it is. And, how do I even go on about this? Anyway, it's just got me in the mood, so I've been watching stuff that Team 4 Star has done. I started with 2 Saiyans play, then Renegade for Life, then Team 4 Star plays, finally watched Dragon Ball Z Abridged, because I'd seen clips of it, but I finally sat down and watched it. It's entertaining as shit. It really is. And I feel bad for not giving it a chance until now, you know? Because I'm strangely dodgy about parodies. I mean, I don't know what it is, but I'm very particular about parodies. So if it wasn't done perfectly, you know, I wasn't gonna have it, you know? But it turns out this was done fantastically. And honestly, there are times when I would be hard-pressed to not recognize them as not being the original voice actors. Like, they do a fantastic Trunks. The Vegeta's pretty good. The Nappa, reasonable, you know. The Goku and Krillin are horrible, etc. 18. Android 18, I'm going to say, sounds nothing like the actress. But, oh my god, that voice is so hot. I'm like, oh, I wish... Because Android 18 has been replaced for DBZ Kai and the video games that take place around that time. And I don't like the voice they gave her. I liked her original voice. But you know what? If the girl who works with Team 4 Star, who does 18's voice there, did her voice in the games, I would be fine with that. So I've been on a DBZ kick, and I've actually got to watch Resurrection F soon, the Frieza movie. Looking forward to that. I am actually going to start a new Let's Play because of said DBZ kick. That Let's Play being Legendary Super Warriors. It's a Game Boy Color game that I used to own. I don't know what the fuck happened to the game. It's one of those things that I guess I just lost over time. But I don't have it anymore. But I've got a ROM for it. And I'm justifying my use of this ROM for 2 reasons. Number one, I did own it before, so it's not like it's something I've never possessed. Or even rented, because I owned the fuck out of this game. And number 2, it's a Game Boy Color game. I'm sorry, Nintendo is not losing any money over a Game Boy Color game. I sincerely friggin' doubt that it's on the Virtual Console. And if it is, I don't own a Wii U, so meh. But it's... No, let me put this straight. Legendary Super Warriors is not a fantastic game. It's a decent enough game. It's not great, though. Not by any stretch of the imagination. And it's not the game I want to Let's Play. I want to Let's Play the Budokai and Tenkaichi games. So it's not even going to fill that role right. But I do not currently have the proper hookups for my PlayStation 2. So I can't run those. And I don't have any of the PS3 games on hand, so I can't do those. And Legacy of Goku 1 is... Oh, I hate that fucking game, so I'm not going to do that. And 2, I don't have the patience for right now, because I suck at it at the moment. I don't feel like practicing it. And 3, I'm not going to do until I do 2. And the DS games, I'm still not even that good at yet, so... It's just... a big mess, you know? But I'm like, you know what? I can do this game. I've beaten this game. It's reasonably challenging, and yet not too hard. And it will hopefully fill some of my fix until I can get Xenoverse, which I've heard bad things about. But I've also heard those bad things from Team 4-Star, who aren't fans of GT, whereas I actually am, you know? But then again, I don't ascribe to the school of, oh, well, Kira Toriyama didn't do it personally, so it's not canon. Probably because I'm used to people doing stuff that's not canon, or that is canon, who didn't make it, like Star Wars, you know? There's a fuck ton of Star Wars that for years was canon before Disney bought them out, you know? And as I understand, I don't think George Lucas is doing Episode 7, and yet it's going to be canon. So that's a case of, well, Lucas didn't do it, it's still canon. Then again, most people still like Akira Toriyama as opposed to not liking Lucas, which yeah. I mean, honestly, if you want to go that route, technically nothing that happened in Friendship is Magic has been canon since Return of Harmony when Lauren Faust left. And yet, the show's still great. So, I don't know what the fuck. But, I'm gonna at least try Xenoverse, because it's the newest thing I have access to. And that's another thing, I've never grown out of Dragon Ball Z. Lots of people start with Dragon Ball Z and just get out of it, and I never did. Still love it, still enjoy it, you know. But then again, I've also never looked at it and said, wow, this is the best anime ever. Look at how good it looks and how great the story is. Because that's the thing. It's always just been people beating the shit out of each other. And that's all I've ever seen it as. And to be honest, DBZ looks kind of like butt for anime standards. Even the stuff in GT, which is when it looked fantastic, still, all that did was basically bring it up on par with other animes. You know? Because, I mean, if you see some of the really good animes that put just tons of money into their artistry, they look amazing. And DBZ, well, I'm sorry, DBZ didn't get there, GT did. Well, technically Z did with the 13th movie right before GT happened, but you get the idea. And, it's especially glaringly obvious in the original, I want to say Score, but I don't know if it was Score. The original card game that had the Scouters. You know, because there were 3 card games. There was the first one. Then there was the newer one, which just had 1 character at a time, etc. And then there was the one by... I keep wanting to say Panini. I know it's not that. Like, Paizo or something. Something with a P. That basically revamped the old card game, and some of the old cards are still compatible. But anyway, in that game, they use screenshots from the actual show, and if you look at any of the Saiyan Saga stuff, they look horrible. I mean, like, if you look at the Krillin, he's barely outlined properly. The Nappa number 4 looks horrible. Etc., etc., and it's just... oh, God, especially if you compare it to the Boo Saga cards that look so much better. It's just, ugh. But yeah, I never expected, I never asked much of DBZ. When it comes to DBZ, I ask DBZ one thing. I want to see fights that are fun. And I see them. And of course, I know all the jokes, because I used to hear them in Heroclix. Oh, if there were DBZ Heroclix, it'd be just... You wouldn't be able to do anything for 30 turns as they power up. And I'm like, yeah, here's the thing about that. During those 30 turns that they're powering up, sure, you wouldn't be able to do anything. On turn 31, the board explodes and all of your figures die. Because the funny thing about that powering up is they're just gathering to do something with it. You know? That's like mocking figures with activation clicks. Because, oh, well... sure, you're playing the Hulk, but he starts out as Bruce Banner. I'm like, yes, he does start out as Bruce Banner. And then he turns into the goddamn Hulk, and then what are you going to do? Then you've got the Hulk, you know? That Billy Batson sucks. Yeah, wait till he says Shazam, you know? Etc., that kind of thing. And again, I've never asked Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT to be anything more than what they were, and because of that, I've never grown out of it. Because I never expected fantastic story. If I want a fighting anime with a good story, I'll watch Yu Yu Hakusho. You know what? Sometimes I just want to see a guy blow up a mountain because he missed. You know? Sometimes I want to see two guys punch each other and see rocks shatter from the force of the impact. Sometimes that's just what I want to see. And you know what? Dragon Ball delivers on that. And that's all I want, you know? And, like I said, there's other animes out there for whatever taste you're in the mood for. Like, I've been meaning for a while to watch Yu Yu Hakusho, and I haven't done it. I own every single DVD. I can watch it anytime I want. I just haven't gotten to it. And I know I'm running around in circles babbling, because, again, I'm so running out of ideas for this Minecraft thing. I really am. I have no fucking clue what I'm going to do next. I'm just kind of wandering and wasting time at this point. I can't wait till 2016 when I can switch games, because I'm gonna. I've decided as long as I'm still living here, and odds are pretty good that I will be. As long as I'm still living here, I am going to switch over to Sims 3 Pets. And it's going to take place in my apartment with me, Kisa, and Oreo. And we're just going to do sim shit. You know? It's just that simple. Ooh! A thing happened. I saw the third Equestria Girls movie and I loved it. It was broadcast on, I keep wanting to say the hub, on Discovery Family. We didn't get a theatrical release in America at this time. Got one in Europe, though. But didn't get a theatrical release, so I don't get that channel, and neither does my friend in California. So I waited and basically downloaded a YouTube rip of it, so that we could watch it. I'm sorry, I didn't. He did. I was going to, but he basically beat me to it, and he was going to set a download thing, and it's like, oh, it's going to take 5 hours, because my internet sucks. So I kind of went to bed, woke up, and it had canceled, and couldn't resume from there. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to McDonald's. He's like, oh, I got to go to sleep. I'm like, no, I'm going to go to McDonald's. I'll have this thing in like 10 minutes. And I did. And I started to watch the shorts beforehand. I got through the first one and like 3/4 of the second one. And he's suddenly like, well, how long is it? I'm like, oh, it's only like an hour and 10 minutes. So about an hour 20 after you watch the shorts, you know. He's like, fuck it. I'll stay up. So we watched together. A lot of fun. They've done some amazing shit with Sunset Shimmer. They did do something I was not happy about. Spoilers, if you care. If you watch the series, if you haven't seen the movie, you know, if you're interested in Pony or Equestria Girls and you haven't seen the movie and don't want this, switch off for about 10 minutes. If you have seen it, or you don't care, either because you don't like the thing or because you've already seen it, starting now. Human Twilight is now part of the group. She has moved to Canterlot High, and she's going to be part of the group, and I don't fucking like that. Everyone was so excited, oh, I hope Human Twilight joins the group. No, because I've already seen Twilight discover friendship. I saw it for 4 goddamn seasons. I watched that girl discover friendship. And if she's in Equestria Girls, that's what it's going to be. Because she was just like that in Crystal Prep. Of, oh, I don't have any friends. She wants friends, but she doesn't have any friends. I don't want to see her discovering friendship. And everyone's like, oh, Sunset Shimmer needs to come to the Pony World. No, she fucking doesn't. There's nothing her story is going to accomplish in the Pony World. However, because apparently this is going to be a series. I keep hearing that from multiple sources that the Equestria Girls is going to eventually stop being movies and start being a series on its own. And if and when that happens, Sunset Shimmer is the perfect main character. Because she can learn all these lessons, except now she'll be writing to Princess Twilight and getting the news about this. Like, oh, well, here, let me help you, let me teach you this, let me do this, etc. Now you don't have to learn all this shit alone like I did. and the chemistry is there, and it's perfect, and now they're bringing Twilight into it, which is going to do one of two things. It's either going to detract from Sunset Shimmer, or it's going to be a rehash of the same 4 fucking seasons we've had. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed those 4 seasons. I love them. But I don't need to see them reimagined in the fucking human world. And I'm not happy that that seems to be the way they're going with it. You know? And again, it just annoys me when the fans are like, oh, Sunset needs to come to the Pony World. No, she fucking doesn't. If you want to watch Sunset Shimmer, watch Equestria Girls. If you want to watch your ponies, watch your goddamn ponies. I would be perfectly happy. And there was a brief glimpse of ponies through portals in this one. I'd have been perfectly happy if they never even showed anything of Equestria in this movie, because it doesn't need it. They got that out of the way in the first 2 movies. They dealt with that. The origin story was finished. You know? Didn't need to be a thing anymore. And I really wish it hadn't been a thing again. But it was. But, still, loved the movie, loved the songs. Not as much as in Rainbow Rocks, but then again, that was literally a movie that revolved around the songs. It was in the fucking title, you know? And, just great experience all around, was worth the wait. There may have been spoilers, because at the end of it they talk about Twilight being stuck in a time loop. That might have been from the season finale. We don't know yet, because the season finale hasn't aired. But it's possible it was, because the hiatus ended up with, what's the word? 2 fucking months of hiatus, in which time we could have, if Equestria Girls 3 had kept its air date, and the hiatus didn't happen, we probably would have seen the finale already. It was probably meant to take place after Season 4, or after Season 5, just like Equestria Girls 1 took place after Season 3, and 2 took place after Season 4. It was probably meant to do that. We probably just got a massive spoiler. And shit happens, you know? Because sometimes shit just happens. But, again, I was pleased with it. I'm loving the rest of Season 5 so far. We've had 3 episodes. And the best part is, they're all rarity episodes. And the funny thing is, they weren't that way in the production order. In the production order, there were a couple episodes in between some of these. But for whatever reason, they decided, nah, let's just have three rarity episodes in a row. And I love Rarity. She's my favorite of the main 6. Period. So that's great news for me, but a lot of people fucking hate Rarity, and I'm thinking, oh, they're going to be real pissy about this. And even as someone who loves Rarity, and a lot of my other fellow Rarity fans have said the same thing, it's a bit much. We recognize that, yeah, to us she's best pony, but she doesn't need to eat the season, you know? To be fair, she didn't get any episodes in Season 3. And not many... She hasn't gotten as many episodes as some of the others. But, this isn't how you make up for it by giving 3 in a row. And because I'm on the pony trend, let me just say that I had a conversation with Jay. And I think the best thing they can do, because they've announced there's a pony movie. I don't know what it's about. I imagine it has to do with the main 6, but I know what I want it to be about. And fellow pony fans, stick with me on here on this one. I want it to be about the Cutie Mark Crusaders. I think a movie should be made between Season 5 and Season 6. And the movie should star the Cutie Mark Crusaders. Just full feature-length movie. Where they have this huge adventure just off on their own together. You know, just the 3 of them. And it culminates with their cutie marks. And so that the season that follows it... I say Season 6. It could just easily be Season 7 that it ends at Season 6 and starts Season 7. And just from that season on, they have their cutie marks. And they... Because we've established now that the characters don't need to have cutie mark stories anymore. They don't... It doesn't need to be like, oh, what are we going to do about our cutie marks now? Because we've had, since season 4 and 5, they have had so many adventures that have nothing to do with their cutie marks. Where they might mention it in passing, but mostly as kind of a mythology gag. And, yeah, that's my hour time limit. But anyway, and they just don't need them. And to be honest, it wouldn't do anything. They even had the Apple Bloom episode, Bloom and Gloom, where she explored all the horrible things that could potentially have happened. All her fears about what happens when she gets her cutie mark, kind of thing. And to the point where the cutie mark really isn't important anymore. It doesn't matter to the characters as much anymore. And the reason I'm suggesting a movie instead of an episode is because we've had this for 5 years. Ever since like halfway through, maybe even episode 8 of season 1, we've been introduced to these fillies and watched them grow and learn and try to explore who they are. And honestly, even though I keep saying the cutie mark isn't that important, getting the closure for this is something that I only think can be done right with a movie. Because I don't think the fans want a Cutie Mark Crusaders 2-parter. I don't think they want them to have the season finale, which is about the only other way they could really give this the attention that I think it deserves. And I don't think it should be the first movie, because the first movie with ponies needs to star the main 6, you know? And the princesses and everyone. It needs to be a big thing. But I think the Cutie Mark Crusaders need their own movie. Even if it's just a freaking release on DVD movie. You know, straight to DVD shit. Or air on Discovery Family and then buy the DVD. They need a movie. They need a freaking... basically a 3-parter to make this... to close their story. To finally say, this is where they're going to end up. These are the Cutie Mark Crusaders, etc. And then, of course, they need a new name. But, hell, I've already pitched the movie. The rest of it's up to you, you know. And I think that's the best way to close that particular chapter. And then we can just get on with these characters. Because these characters are not the same characters. They really aren't. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but... if you were to, for example, my friend Sammy, who I've been doing the episodes blind with, if I were to suddenly show her Twilight Time, for example, which was a season 4 episode where she's teaching the Cutie Mark Crusaders all these lessons and stuff. If I were to show her, take her from season 2 where she left off, or from the start of season 3 rather, where she left off, and show her Twilight Time with nothing else intervening, she probably wouldn't recognize the Cutie Mark Crusaders anymore because they are so different. They've matured so much as characters. You know, and it's really a good thing. It's a wonderful thing that they've progressed the way they have. That they're not just this one note, one joke, one trick pony, you know? That there's so much more to them now. And it's great to see, because it means that they're being taken seriously as characters, that they matter, you know? Also, kind of love the way that I cannot see this through the sky, but I know it's there. I know it's there because I keep hitting my head on it. But it's just... oh, well, I missed a spot. I missed a spot. Yay, I missed a fucking spot. Where is it? I know I missed a spot. I just gotta find it. Well, damn. Need to break out the sand. Could have sworn I missed a spot. Maybe it was a glitch. But yeah, I'm one of those people who's always liked the Cutie Mark Crusaders. I've always thought they were fun. I heard way back at the start of the show that Lauren Faust had planned to give them the spin-off of their own show, and I'm like, oh, I'd love to watch that. But it never happened. They were just content to keep stealing our show. Which I'm also fine with, because again, I enjoy those characters, but... I really think they need just one movie of their own, to have their own Serious Adventure, just their last little hurrah as the Cutie Mark Crusaders. Last thing as fillies before they just take their places in Ponyville. Or wherever they end up, you know? I mean, they might find out that their destinies take them quite a ways away. I mean, look at the Season 3 premiere, where Princess Cadance and Shining Armor went to the Crystal Empire, and it turns out Cadance is the Crystal Princess, and that is her place to rule. You know? Same could be done with the Cutie Mark Crusaders. They could find out that their destiny lies very far away. You know? And one more thing on the pony subject, while I've got you, you know, the one of you who's still here. During the Equestria Girls movie, Sunset kept writing in her book trying to get a hold of Twilight, and Twilight wasn't answering, and she couldn't figure out why. And I kept popping up with, where the hell is she? We've just seen her in an episode where she's bored to tears because the map won't send her anywhere, so we know she's home. Alright, this has been This Week in Kyrix. See you next time. Bye-bye.